Oh, it's showtime. I love that StreamYard says it's showtime. And it is. Hello, welcome. Today we're going to talk about the suck and maybe not sucking. You got to get used to the suck. One of my students in Live Video Launchpad said, you just simply have to pull the Band-Aid off. And that is why we're here today, because I want you to be able to pull that Band-Aid off and really start showing up, because your success online counts on visibility, right? So being visible is the thing that is going to help you succeed. And if you are not visible and people don't know about you, your competition is basically jumping on the scene, showing up live or with videos, and they're capturing your audience, because there is an audience of people regardless of your niche. I loathe when people are like, oh, but my niche, it's so saturated. It doesn't matter. There are so many people in this world, and so there is an audience for everyone. But if you decide to just hang out on the sidelines, the people that need you most have no idea who you are, right? So the only person who is hurting your business right now is you. So little truth bombs today, right? So I want you, hey, Yara, how are you? Right? And so you have to push past that fear. And again, you have to just be willing to suck. And I know my perfectionist Patty friends out there, right? I know that for many of you, that just makes you hyperventilate. I know that my introverts, that makes you hyperventilate, but you have to embrace the suck, because here's the dealio. I just said dealio, right? No one wakes up in the morning really good at video. No one. Okay, so it's out there. You're going to suck at first. I sucked at first. Every single person. My favorite thing, although I'm not a big Marie Forleo fan anymore, she has highly produced videos and is really great on video. And I found a video from 10 years ago when she first started out, and it sucked. I don't even know if the content was good or not, because she looked bad and she was super timid and the framing was bad and she was pushed up against a radiator, clearly in like a tiny New York apartment. And so, right, she sucked at first. But did she stop and go, oh, this kind of sucks? No, she did not. She kept going. Another story about her, she had a YouTube channel where she was going live. I mean, she was uploading videos regularly for almost an entire year before she got any traction. And so, a lot of the times it's just the suck that is stopping you. And so today if nothing else you get out of this is just say, everybody's going to suck, and it takes practice and that willingness to be like, okay, I'm not going to be very good at that. But that is why, especially in Video Playground, it's such a great, safe space to learn and to figure out okay, here's what I need to do in order to start showing up, right? The internet is big. It is big and it is growing rapidly, and you can grow with it, or you could decide to sit back. But I'm going to tell you, if you decide to sit back, your audience doesn't know you exist. You could be, and I know we all know, right? You're the expert in your field. You are the best at what you do, and they can't choose you. They simply can't choose you because you are choosing not to show up. And so the first part of kind of embracing the suck is just acknowledging that you need to start making videos ASAP. Acknowledge the fact, that's the first thing. Just get yourself nodding and saying okay, Tracy, I don't know how I'm going to make the videos. I don't know what to talk about. I don't know any of that, but I need video. We're doing AA for video, right? The first part is to admit that you need to make videos in order to show up so people know who you are, so they can buy from you. So agreed. If you're in the comments, just be like, I agree. I need to start or continue making videos. And a second part of that is, you have to consistently show up. You can't ghost people, but that's the first part of getting over it. And again, I just want to dip in a moment and talk about the expectation gap. I talk about this all the time. And especially for those of you who feel like you have to show up perfect, and I'll talk about that in a little bit, is you're looking at, hey, Amber, every second counts, still figuring it out. Yes, but are you willing to start making videos, Amber? That is what I want to know, right? So your expectation gap is you're looking over here and you're watching other people's videos, whether they're live video or pre-recorded videos, and you're like, "God, they're so good. That's where I want to be." And that is so attainable, by the way, BTW, right? But you're over here and you're not making videos consistently and you're not really sure what to talk about and you're not exactly sure how to reach your audience and what they want you to be talking about and all that other stuff, right? But that's okay because that's how you learn. That's the suck, right? You're going to stick here for a little bit, but then those are going to start coming together. And like I said, that loop is not nearly as far as you think it is, but you have to start. So again, accept that you have to start making videos ASAP. Yes, Tracy, I will start making videos ASAP. Great. Martina, aloha. I was thinking about you the other day, and funny that you pop in right here. The other thing is again, video is not a one and done. Video is a process. It is a journey. I know so much about this, not simply because I've been in the video world for 20 years, but a lot of that was spent behind the camera. When I started having to put myself in front of the camera, I realized how much practice it really took. And again, a lot of people, I don't have time to make videos. You don't have time not to make videos. What you're saying to me, when I hear people say, I don't have time to make videos, you're saying, my business is not important enough for me to show up so that people can choose me. That is simply what I hear. It's almost like a foreign language, right? You say this, I don't have time, and I hear, I don't care about my online business, right? So today's a little bit of the truth bombs are coming out because it is an excuse. What you're really saying is, I'm scared to put myself out there. I don't know what to talk about. There's a lot of different things going on in your head, but the bottom line is it takes practice. Right? Like, again, let's go back to it. Nobody wakes up in the morning really good at video, not even actors. I keep telling the same story. I come from the pro video world. We hired actors all the time. Guess what they got ahead of time? Scripts. Guess what they got ahead of time? Blocking plans. Guess what they got ahead of time? Practicing with us, right? Like, they didn't just show up on set amazing. And again, it's their craft. So they did practice so that when they did show up on shoot day, they were ready because we're paying them. And they're like, this is your job. So show up prepared, but don't show up thinking you have to be perfect, right? So I love, many of you know, I have a deep love for Bonjour, not just because it's such a great connection piece in my business, but also because I just think the folks that work there and run it are amazing. And I am a customer service person. And when you can have direct contact with people who will hop on a call with you and help you, that's how I do business. So I love Bonjour, but Bonjouros are a great way to get good at video fast. And if you don't know what Bonjour is an app. You can use it on your computer, on your phone, and you send individual personalized videos to your community. So if someone signs up for your webinar or something, you can send them a personalized, hey, Katie, welcome, like it's Tracy. What it has added to my business is not, it's been great because people go from stranger to super fan much, much faster, right? But what it really helped me do was just get so much more comfortable on video because these videos are 30 seconds, a minute tops. I don't go over a minute. Many of you here have probably gotten a Bonjour from me. They are imperfect. Sometimes they're in my car. Sometimes I'm sitting by the river. Sometimes, right? But it doesn't matter. And it's just a great way to get comfortable on video. And a lot of times it's just getting comfortable on video. There are very few people who love the way they look and sound. It's just, for me, I have 5-6 years almost of live videos where I watch my face falling in slow motion over the 6 years. That's despite my friend Pila's wonderful, wonderful help with facials and facial stuff, but, which has helped. But my face is still falling because I'm 48 years old, right? But what if I were to say I'm 48 years old and I'm just not going to show up because I feel old? Well, guess what? Next year I'm going to be older. And the next year I'm going to be older. And if I don't show up until I feel ready, I'm never going to show up. It's like people saying they're waiting to have a baby at a good time. There's no good time to have a baby. You're always going to find things, right? Have the baby, then figure it out later. Bad example. But anyway, the quick videos, the human connection, all of that, learning who you are on camera can happen in quick little bites. And so you do need to practice live video. I love live video, right? But you have to be willing to be imperfect. And I always say, like, take imperfect action over perfect inaction. I need you to think about that for a second, because perfect inaction is where many of you, especially in Video Playground, are. You come and you're looking for help, but you're not actually making any videos regularly, consistently. And so you have to dig in and say, like, what is it that is holding me back? And her name is Patty, Perfectionist Patty, to be exact. And you need to kick her to the curb, because she shows up and she wiggles her way into the deepest recesses of your brain there, right? And she tells you you're too loud or too shy or too chubby or too old or too inexperienced or too boring, or I hear boring all the time, or tech challenge or video phobic, whatever it is she's telling you in your ear. And you can share that in the comments with me. She's a big fat liar. And these are all simply excuses why you shouldn't have to show up. And my favorite quote from Mark Cuban is, perfectionism is the killer of profit. And it couldn't be truer, because he won't back people. I watch a lot of Shark Tank who are perfectionists, because he said, oh, you're going to kill your business by trying to be perfect, by trying to get everything right, especially online business. Sometimes you simply have to get stuff out there, and video for sure, because you will get better. And if you're in Video Playground, right, like, you have a place where you can post your videos or ask me questions and continue to get better and continue to get actual live feedback from an expert. And that is going to be your momentum, right? So who's ready to embrace the suck? Have I convinced you to embrace the suck yet? Right? And then there's live video. And I love, love, love live video. And for those of you who have been through Live Video Launchpad, it's not open yet. Hold on, let me see if I have, do I have Live Video Launchpad here for you? I don't even have it ready. But anyway, livevideolaunchpad.com. It's just one word. And Live Video Launchpad is everybody's, Pila, I just mentioned you. That's right, Aurora. Tell Patty, Perfectionist Patty, to get lost. Right, so create those videos. And I have heard every excuse in the book. But again, in Live Video Launchpad, why it works is because you're getting constant feedback, right? So there is the fact, and I love live video, and everybody in there says the same thing, which is like, oh my gosh, live videos are so much better. Yes, Peel, I was talking about my face falling in slow motion, despite all of the wonderful work you do with me to keep it looking very supple and dewy. So when you're doing live videos, and this is another way I love, because you're practicing, people really, their expectation is not for you to show up perfectly coiffed, perfectly produced, perfectly perfect. They want you to show up and teach them something that they don't know. Give them something to do, right? And so live video is so much easier, and another great way to practice, because you can show up and have not a great live and no one's on there with you, and who cares, but show up again next week. And again, I will be, I've created an amazing masterclass. It's not open yet, so you can't get in there yet, but I'm going to be talking about, there's a myth out there that you need people on there with you for the lives, and that's BS. And also another big myth is that you need a big following, a big list, and it's simply not true. Because if you learn video from me and live video, the magic is in actually the live after you're done. It has nothing to do with who is on there with you. And so in Live Video Launchpad, we talk a lot about that. Like, how do you turn those lives into leads, even if you don't have a list yet, or you don't have a big following? And listen, there's things you can do to try and get people to show up. But again, that is not how you build your list, your community, or make sales. That is not how live video is used, but it is a great way for you to practice and get good and show up consistently, so you can create a library of videos that people binge watch. And I cannot tell you how many people come into my world, and either on YouTube or on Video Script Success, where all of my videos are, they have binge watched, which is what I do too, right? That's the point. You create the content to be binge watchable. So these are little videos that people are showing up and they're going, right? So that is another way to kind of like accept the suck and just get going. I love live video for that reason. And once I started doing lives, but again, I had to pull the Band-Aid off. I didn't want to go live. I thought of every other thing. The big joke is like, arranging a sock drawer, calling the IRS, any other thing that I could do except for go live video. Then once I started doing it and I started actually seeing the results from it, I was like, whoa, why did I wait so long? And, oh my gosh, I need to start teaching people this because it really works. And we're talking about people with really small lists and really small followings who are, people are reaching out to them and booking calls and discovery things. There are people who've gotten book deals because they showed up on live video. Who knew, right? But it really is the fastest way to get results and get comfortable. And that's what we're talking about today, right? Like pulling that Band-Aid and getting comfortable and consistent. Because again, a lot of people go live with Video Vomit, but a lot of people go live and then they don't go live again because either A, they didn't get what they wanted out of it, right? They're like, nobody was on there, it doesn't matter. And that's not the point of it. So you have to think about your goal. So if you all would promise me, I'm going to go live this week, the goal could be just to simply get better at going live. Great. What I'm looking for in the comments here, people, is you're going to tell me that you're going to go live this week, right? And then the last thing I can really help you with, a lot of people tell me they're like, I have a million ideas and I don't know how to focus that into like a great video. I want it to be relevant and entertaining and interesting. And although that takes a little bit more training than we're doing here today, the way that you do that is to focus on one thing. When I talk about Video Vomit, this is one of those things I see people are like, diarrhea of the mouth. They don't know when to stop. They haven't really thought about the structure. Many of you here, you all have my Thrive on Live cheat sheet. You've also done, the audience of one work where you know who you're talking to specifically, not a demographic, not the idea of a buyer, right? Do you know that Facebook Shop has this live selling option? I don't know anything about the live selling option, Pila, but I got to tell you, because you're someone with a physical product, you should check it out. Right? Because adding a face to some products is a great way to sell product. Yeah, you should do some of those and let me know how it goes, right? Because again, Pila, you're one of those people who you're always looking for new business opportunities, which makes you a brilliant business person, but also you have that idea of like, okay, this is something I need to do to grow my business. You came in a little late, but what I was telling people is you have to accept that in order to have an online business, you need to be visible. And so part of that visibility is showing up consistently with information. That's what I was talking about before, talking about one thing. This is what I always tell people, I help you take your brilliant but scattered ideas, because believe me, I mean, this is what I did. Like we all have these great ideas. Oh my God, I have this great idea, I have this great idea, I have this great idea. One idea. So focus that and talk about one thing. But I want to task you on this live today. Your call to action is to go live this week. It's Wednesday. You can go live later today. You can go live in the next couple days, but I want you to tell me that you did go live. Go live with one thing, so that you're helping, building, getting more comfortable, whatever your goal is. Just think about the one thing that you get a lot of questions about or myths. I just told you a bunch of live video myths. It's so fun to go like, when I talk about one thing, you could do a listicle, which is one of my favorite things to do, like the 5 top myths about whatever it is you do. That's one topic, right? You're talking about the myths about what you do. 5 of them. I like the number 5 when I do listicles. So the five myths about live video, I could stop and go live about that in a minute, right? Pick something that resonates with your audience. And when you say like, I don't really know what my audience wants, that is a problem. That's a much deeper problem than visibility. You need to know exactly what your audience wants from you. And again, you have these tools. I give them away all the time, but you have to actually do the work and decide that your visibility is important, your business is important, and then you are willing to show up. I'm willing to show up, Tracy. Yes, I'm willing to show up and do the work, because it is work, right? And again, I had a lovely conversation with Casey Hill of Bonjour today. And, you can outsource a lot of your social media stuff. You can outsource a lot of the back end stuff. You can outsource pretty much everything in your online business except the video. If you are the face of your brand, you cannot outsource your video. You can't hire someone to be you. You can't hire, you have to show up, and people are not buying your product. They're not buying your coaching. They're not buying your membership. They are buying you. So you need to show up in all of your imperfectness. I just like to make up words, right? But show up imperfectly because that's what we fall in love with. Every time I meet someone for the first time, like they've seen my videos on YouTube, or they show up and we show up on a Zoom or something like that, they're tickled pink because I'm exactly how I am on these videos. And that makes me very happy when people are like, oh my gosh, you're just like you are in your videos. Great. I don't have another persona. I don't have a camera persona, right? But I also didn't wake up one morning and say like, I'm going to be great on video. Quite the opposite, right? I had to work at it. And again, I spent an entire year probably making excuses on why I shouldn't be, which means my business could have been that much farther ahead had I decided to embrace it earlier. So if you are the person who keeps putting this off, this one is for you. Embrace the suck. I will get down off of my soapbox now, and I will let you all get on with your Wednesday night. That's all for today, but I will see you next week. And I'm going to get everybody the information on Lives to Leads because it's going to be super exciting. Share it with your friends, and I will see you next week. Remember, embrace your suck. See you then. Bye.